Hello, Louisiana Beer Reviews presents a special edition, a taste challenge between Miller High Life and Stag. I should say Stag first. Stag, founded in 1851 as Kaiser Beer, versus Miller High Life, founded in 1855 as Fred Miller Lager, became known as Miller High Life 1903. Name changed to Stag Beer in 1907. Currently owned by Pabst Brewing Company. Currently owned by Molson Coors under their Miller Coors subsidiary. Okay, 4.6% alcohol, 4.6% alcohol. Certified Kosher. No such designation. Alrighty, February 5th, 2018. February 19th, 2018. So we're close, Thank you, Lawrence Hartnett, for sending me this 12-pack of Stag. Thank you, Food for Less, for selling me this 6-pack of Miller High Life. I wasn't planning to do any taste challenges with Stag, but because I said, well, most viewers can't get it, including me. And I'm making the videos, but people kept saying, no, do it. I kept getting a number of comments, so I said, what the heck, wouldn't hurt to do it. May not help, won't hurt. All right. Remember this, they still might make this hunting vest can design for the hunting season. Stag used to be in a white label bottle. Okay. Stag is produced for Pabst Brewing Company by Miller Brewing Company, Molson Coors. Let's see. F07. What's that? Fort Worth. The huge Fort Worth brewery opened in 1966. 07, Fort Worth Brewery, coming from the same place. Now Dean of Dean's Beer Reviews was watching a video of mine, and he contacted me and said, port, let's get together and do a port examination. I said, okay. And I asked him, I said, what about Cockburns? Can you get that? Oh yeah. He says, I can get that. So I'm waiting on you, Dean, for this. Let's shoot for January because I got a lot of Livingston, Chianti left. Bellows Club Whiskey. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. It's a very old brand of blended whiskey. It was bought by Jim Beam, the Beam Company, and then they sold it off to another company. I can't remember the name of the current company. They have a lot of brands though. It says Bellows and Company, but you know that's not really a real company anymore. St. Louis, Missouri, that's the current headquarters, and then it used to be Claremont and Louisville, Kentucky, I believe. It was being, you know how these liquor companies are, beer companies are always buying each other out, moving production. But Bellows goes back to 1830. I got it so cheap. Okay, at International Market, and I might go back there today. They look similar, you know, fizzy yellow stuff, as people call it. My assumption is they're going to taste similar, but I think the Miller High Life is going to be a little more distinct. You know how Miller High Life has a distinct cooked vegetable thing going. It's going to be tough. I think the Stag has more of a little heavier roasted malt. And I think the Miller High Life has more of the vegetables. More of steamed vegetables, not just cooked, steamed. Like you literally put cauliflower, carrots, just think of any kind of vegetables, you put them in water, put them on the stove, and you start smelling that steam, and you say, I smell like, I mean, I know that's boiled, right, not steamed, but it smells like that. And they boil it. They boil beer, especially when they pasteurize it. It's a little sharp note, that roasted note, that sort of older style note that I was talking about with Meisterbrow, Stag, and Falstaff. I know around 1996 I would say that. I like these. They have a little more character. And then other people would say they're too strong. It's like, what do you mean too strong? It's too strong. It's nasty. I'll say, oh wait, you're drinking Miller Lite, so everything to you is nasty. You're drinking Coors Light, everything to you is nasty. You're drinking Bud Light, everything to you is nasty. But I thought they had more character. They weren't profoundly different, but there was a little something different. Yeast. Little hop bitterness. You see Miller High Life tends to have a little more hop bitterness. You ever notice that? And then you get the Miller High Life Genuine Draft version. The Genuine Draft, Miller Genuine Draft, which, by the way, is no longer sold in this town, in this parish, St. John the Baptist Parish. That's a dead brand. Their website, been saying for 4 years, coming soon. It ain't coming soon. Maybe disappearing soon. Oh well. In 1985, Miller thought, aren't people just going to love cold filtered packaged draft beer? And as it turned out, over the next 30 years, they didn't really love it. They kind of liked it, but then you noticed around 1997, 98, Miller kind of threw in the towel on Miller Genuine Draft, and it slowly began to fade. You can still get packaged draft beer though. You know what it is? Bud Ice. True story. Now you know the rest of the story. Now you know why Bud Ice tastes a little bit better than all the rest. Because, and a friend of mine, Paul, who does literally no research on beer, I can assure you, but he'll drink it, you know, a little bit. But he says on the phone to me about a month ago, he said, you ever notice how Bud Ice tastes like draft beer? And I said, ding, 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 ding. I said, Paul, it is a draft beer. It's packaged draft. It's cold filtered. Oh, excuse me. He says, I knew something. There was something about that beer. I said, there is. Okay, anyway. Murmur. This has got to be High Life. I mean, it's got to be. See, I do this because it makes me look more intelligent. All right, anyway. Oh, my God. All right, Stag. I think that's a Stag. It is Stag. It is Stag. Now, are they appreciably different? Nah. That's why it's a challenge. If I did Stag against Sierra Nevada Torpedo, it wouldn't be a challenge. They'd be very different. But then there would be no point to the taste challenge because they're not similar. You know what I mean? All right. So if you're going to do a taste challenge, you want to do beers that are similar and you want to make it a challenge. Same thing would, I do the whiskey taste challenges. Well, I do things that are similar, okay? So then it's hard. And a lot of this goes back to Dr. Dave, and he was telling me, you can't tell that stuff apart. It's all the same. And I said, you know, forget you, you're wrong. And then I did taste challenges, and I couldn't get them. I couldn't tell them apart. And I failed. I kept failing, and I said, he's right. But then as I drank through it, and I've done this more and more and more and more and more and more over the next 3 years, I noticed that there are extremely subtle differences between the macro lagers. They're not profound, and if you just start doing it right off the bat, these taste challenges, it can be extremely difficult. So, in a way he's right, because most people aren't going to go through this big, long exercise for years, and they're the same. Okay, so in that case, shop price, shop price, shop price, shop price, shop price. But if you want to really get deep, speculative, and break it down, down, then you'll notice there is a difference with the various macro brands and you can even say the light beers, but it's a fine difference. So you're cutting it real close. And if you do a lot of these, chances are you're going to get some wrong. You're just going to, you'll get mixed up. You'll think you know it. Okay, so anyway, which one do I prefer, by the way? I didn't think about doing that. I like Miller High Life, and I have drunk a lot of it since February '96, and I have a special place. There's a special place in my heart for it because that was the first beer I ever drank when I started the beer exploration in February 1996. I just said, well, everybody's always talking about beer, and I don't drink beer. I drink soft drinks. So I said, I wasn't at work that day, and I said, heck, let me go buy a 6-pack of beer and see what this is all about. I mean, literally, this is the true story. So I went to Winn-Dixie, and I said, the pony can, the pony bottles, it's like $2.99 for the 6-pack. I think now they're in, 8 packs? So I said, well, I'll buy that. That's a kind of a benchmark brand, And I tried it, and I was on that back porch with that picnic table, which is no longer here, and I was drinking it straight out the bottle at that time, but I very quickly went to glasses. But I said, I'm thinking. I said, you know what? I can see why people like beer, and I think I could get into this as sort of a hobby. Like, I'm interested in brands. I was always interested in brands anyway. So I said, hey, you know what? I think I'll try every other beer in the world that is produced, within reason. So I just started buying everything. And then people ask me, and this is it, I'm going to shut this down. People ask me, what is the beer, and Michael Komaroff talked about that for an examination. What was the beer that got you into craft beer? Literally, there was none. Because when I started doing that, drinking through the brands in February '96, and there were stores, around New Orleans, whatever, Baton Rouge, they sold craft beers and that kind of stuff. And I would just go in there and look around and say, oh, that's a good price, I'll buy this, buy it. And so I, with no pattern whatsoever, I would just pick stuff. Rick and Jack's Scotch Ale, Rick and Jack's Blonde Ale, Miller High Life Schlitz. I mean, there was no macro versus micro culture conf. You know what I mean? I was just grabbing stuff. And I'm trying Schlitz. Oh man, it's really good. Oh. I'm trying Rick and Jack's. Wow, this specialty beer, this has got a lot of flavor. Scotch Ale, never had it. I don't know anything about it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm getting the encyclopedia, reading. You had to read books back then, paper. Oh boy. And I'm reading, oh yeah. So I'm reading about beer. I wanted to learn. February '96. Lager, what's a lager, what's an ale? So that's where this whole thing here, almost 22 years later, has developed from. There was no like dedicated idea. I'm going to promote craft. I'm going to promote macro. It was in some ways no actual, not even an actual conception of that. It was like if I was buying egg noodles, just try stuff. Okay, anyway, so Stag wins in flavor. I think it's a little bit better, a little bit, not much, a little bit, but no disparagement to Miller High Life. So anyway, I appreciate you putting up with this explanation of the beer adventure. And so I'll go see who's calling. Somebody said, I know who that is. That's got to be David. So they said they heard that ringtone and they thought it was their phone ringing. AT&T. All right, thanks for watching this video production. Y'all come on down to Southeastern Louisiana.